Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about statements like if, else, and Alif. And we're going to also check out what are statements, use them in examples in code. So, what are statements? That's what we first need to understand before using statements. Python supports the usual logical conditions from mathematics, like equals, not equals, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, greater than or equals to, whatever, sorry. So, I don't want to make a whole video on this because it's too simple. You can take a screenshot of this thing so that you can totally remember it and keep it with you, revise it, or whatever. Or if you're still not understanding it, just go and search it on Google. But this is too simple of a topic for it to require a video. Though these conditions can be used in several ways, most commonly in if statements and loops. Loops are tomorrow's video, but now we'll just focus on if statements. An if statement is written by using the if keyword. So we're going to see some examples in code, but here's an example. I took this from W3 Schools. So example, if statement, A equals to 33 and B equals to 200. So we're defining two variables. And if B is greater than A, then it's just going to print B is greater than A. Okay? It's pretty simple. And here are some useful links that I'll paste in the description below. Okay, so now let's check these examples in code. Well, here is a great example that is in the PPT over here. Okay, so A equals to 33 and B equals to 200, and if B is greater than A, then it's going to print B is greater than A. Right? And it does, B is greater than A. Now, notice here it's using this indentation. The indentation is very important. Let's try it without the indentation. So, boom, save, and it's gonna start an error. An indentation error, expected an indented block. Okay, so we need to do this. We need to indent this. It's necessary unless you will get an error. Well, if's nice, but what if we want two conditions? What if we want to use something like if B is greater than A, then print B is greater than A. But what if A is greater than B? Then what will happen? Well, here there are only two conditions, so we can use else. You know. Now we use daily, like if maybe you're going to get some milk. So you have it in your mind, if there is milk, then buy it, or else don't buy it. Or if the milk is for the pocket money, or maybe you want to buy a toy for yourself, but you have to use your own pocket money. If the toy is less than my pocket money, then I will buy it, or else I will not buy it. Well, there is also something that if you have found a toy and it's less than less than your pocket money, or is it equal to your pocket money, what will happen then? Or what will happen if it's not equal to your pocket money? It's higher than your pocket money. So let's just stick to two conditions. We'll see about one condition later. So in else, you don't have to put anything like B is greater than A. So we can just do print A is greater, than B. Save it. Run it the first time, so we get B is greater than A. What if this was 300? Okay? Save. A is greater than B. Brilliant. This code is running beautifully. Well, what if you want to do the toy code, right? Let's do it. Pocket, so pocket money, pocket money equals to, let's say, $50. Okay? Don't put the dollar sign, okay? Just write 50. Pocket money equals 50. So we can do if pocket money. Oh, wait. So, toy cost. So we need another toy cost so we can compare it with the pocket money, right? For now, let's just say 45. Also, you should also keep some separation between different code blocks. Like this block is defining variables. So now I can put one line. I prefer one line, but some will prefer to start from here. Okay? But I prefer one line. It looks more clear and you don't need to waste more lines. I honestly don't like it when you waste a lot of lines like ah. So if pocket money is greater than toy cost, then it's gonna print you can buy the toy. Okay? Now I'm gonna introduce you to another thing, which is Alif. Now what is Alif? Well, it's a short form for else if. Okay? But here we call it Alif. So you have to put a condition over here too. I'll just show it to you in code. It's better. So what if pocket money equals to toy cost? Well then what will happen? Let's just say and you will have to check for discount or ask for agree. Let's just stick to discount. And now we can add else. So now we're gonna add an else. So it's gonna do else. You can't buy. You can't buy the toy. Look for another one. Okay, so this is pretty nice. Now you don't have to print any of these. These automatically run. You can buy the toy. That's great because the toy cost us only $45. But we have $50. Now let's change it to 50. You will have to check for a discount because that's gonna take all of your pocket money, right? What if you want some two pieces of gum and they're $1? You can't even buy that, right? Now what if it's $55? It's a bit of a costly toy, okay? But you can't buy the toy, you have to look for another one. So if else statements are something like the choices you make in daily life, so to speak. And they're pretty easy to understand too. This is an example that you should try out on your own. Try it out on your own. Maybe look for another uh look for another occurrence. Maybe something that goes in daily life. Okay. Let's rule out another possibility. Elif. Let's see. You can use it somewhere with this discount. Now we can do something like this. Mom's money. So there's something called mom's money now. So mom's money. Oops. Well, Mom will at least have $2,000. But to keep it simple, let's just say Mom has $10 in her wallet. She's not going to give you her credit card, right? So, so now we can do Alif, Mom's money equals to, no, Mom's money is greater than, say, $5, or no, greater or equal to, greater or equal to $10, and then ask Mom for money. Okay, so now we're using two Alifs in our statement, and the else and the if. So now, ask Mom for money. Now you might be asking, well, what if it says that, well, else we're told that if you don't have the money, you can't buy the toy, look for another one. How's it printing ask Mom for money? Well, as I told you a lot of times before, it does from up and down. It parses the code from up and down. So first it'll see the pocket money variable, the toy cost, Mom's money. It'll see this if statement, then it will check out this if statement, then it will check out elif statement, and once it finds the thing it's looking for, done. It's just gonna stop running, right? So pick over here. Especially if you use elif, it's not gonna trigger this, right? So it's like pocket money is equal to toy cost. It's not gonna trigger this, right? It's not gonna say you're gonna buy the toy. You can buy the toy. You will have to check for a discount both at the same time, right? So it's gonna trigger one statement at a time. Okay, so once it finds out Elif, it's not gonna trigger any of the, other of these three, right? It's not gonna print you can buy the toy, or you will have to check for a discount, or you can buy the toy, look for another one. It's gonna print ask Mom for money. So that's how you can use if statements. Okay? And now, there are a few other statements that you can use. There are a few too useful, I can't say functions, just call them statements from now on. They're all kind of complex. So, well, this is kind of lengthy, okay? So, what if you want to make a code where if Mom has money, then it will say you will have to check for a discount or ask Mom for money. You could use it something like here, but I'm just gonna teach you this code. So there's something called or and, okay? Okay, so sorry I got cut it out, but now I'm gonna tell you guys about or and, okay? Or now this is a Python program to demonstrate logical. So A equals to 10, B equals to 10, C equals to minus 10. Okay, so this is gonna discover the AND operator. Okay? It's gonna discover logical AND operator. So if A is bigger than 0 and B is also greater than 0, the numbers are greater than 0. If A is greater than 0 and B is also greater than 0 and even C is greater than 0, then again it's gonna print the numbers are greater than 0. Or print at least one number is not greater than 0. So let's just say in this case we can write 2 numbers are greater. Now it's gonna say 2. Now what's happening over here? That's because we have done 2 if statements if you haven't noticed. This is if and this is another statement. The 2 numbers are greater than and at least one number is not greater. So we can also try replacing this. The numbers are greater than 0, at least one number is not greater. Change it over here. The numbers are greater than 0. So that would be kind of weird. The 2 numbers are greater than 0. Whatever. Now here's a program to do the logical OR operator. Well, if a is greater than 0 or b is greater, print either of the numbers is greater than 0. Else print no number is greater than 0. No greater than 0. If b is greater than 0 and c is greater than 0, then sorry, why am I doing that? OR. Now what's OR? It's gonna choose between the two. Which one? Which one? Kind of like Inky Pinky Ponky, Father Heard a Donkey, blah. So it's gonna choose either of them. If A has greater, A has greater, I mean it has a value greater than 0, but B doesn't. So what AND does is, it means both, or, well, the more than one, it can be 3 or 4 or 10, whatever, but all the values need to be correct if the code has to run. But if in OR, either one of the values have to be correct for it to run, which is why we're using either. Now A is greater than 10, B is not greater than 10, 0, and C is 0. Either of the number is greater than 0, but in the second case, no greater number is greater than 0. Oh, yeah, it's running the way I wanted it to, and you should try it out. You should try each of the programs I show you. You should try them out so you can get some experience in Python. Okay, so now I've got another program for you guys. And again, it's another logical operator. It's called not. It's something like none of the values have to be true or, no, sorry, what am I saying? If it's kind of like this symbol, not equals to, okay? Except it's not mathematical this time, it's a logical operator. So here A equal to 10. But if not A, if A is not true, which is kind of weird. If not A, print Boolean value of A is true. So, we're not, I mean, this is the Boolean values. So I know this is a bit confusing, but let me explain it to you. I'll just say, if A is only runs when something is true, but now we're doing if not A, and if statement only runs when something is true. So if not A, it's not A, right? So if you write A, if A, it's gonna run if A is true. But if not A, it's gonna run if A is false, okay? So Boolean value of A is true. But if not A%3, well, it's called exponentation. Don't dive deeper into this if you haven't learned about exponentation. But 10 is not divisible by either 3 or 5. Okay? So if the value is 10, exponentation actually just checks if anything is divisible. Okay. So it actually finds a remainder, and now we're saying if it doesn't, so if equals to 0, or the a divided by 5, the remainder equals to 0, then 10 is not divisible by either 3 or 5, and this is using not. So this is saying if anyone, not even one of them is true, then it's gonna say that 10 is not divisible by it, or either 3 or 5. But if even one is divisible, then it's gonna print 10 is divisible. It says 10 is divisible. 10 is divisible by either 3 or 5. What happened to this though? Well, we haven't given a else operator, right? So if not A, well, it definitely won't work because it's not a Boolean value, it's an integer, right? So how will it work? So that's why it won't work, so we can just as well just cut it out and it's still gonna work. Now 10 is divisible by either 3 or 5, but what if we change this to 4? Okay, we'll just change all of these to 4 too. Now if you want this, 10 is not divisible by either 3 or 4. So I've taught you guys about if and else statements and elif statements and, or, and not. And that's enough for this video, guys. See you later.